everyone. Welcome to episode 58 of
Mo Money,
the Investing Economics Show for Millennials by a Millennial, where our goal is to educate, entertain, and empower a new generation of investors. I am, of course, the host of the show, MC Mo, so put your mittens on your kittens and away we go. So in this episode, we are going to do a movie review of the documentary Saving Capitalism, based on the book by the same name by former Labor Secretary under President Clinton, Robert Reich. Here's the review. 7.7 out of 10. It was good. It was definitely a documentary. Not the best one that I've ever seen, but still great. Okay, I'm not a movie critic. Not Roger Ebert. I don't know what else to say, so that's the end of the review. And what I'm going to do is build and expand upon some of the points of the movie. Now, right off the bat, capitalism is under attack by two groups of people. It is being attacked as evil and immoral by those who are suffering from economic insecurity, and it's being attacked by those at the top who are manipulating it to benefit only themselves. First off, capitalism cannot be evil or immoral. It's not a philosophy, it's not a religion, it is simply an economic system. It represents the freedom of human beings to interact in the free market where they can sell their goods and services for a profit. That sounds great. You gotta love freedom, you gotta love profits. How are people not all loving this? How could something so simple and so great need to be saved? One of the main problems is government. Governments govern. They make the rules and they enforce the rules. Nothing wrong with that. All systems have to have rules for them to work, so everybody operates in a certain manner that is fair and competitive for all participants. The government's job is not to interfere with the free market, but to make sure that participants do not interfere with the free market through illegal or coercive business practices. Governments occasionally impose regulations on businesses for various reasons, and yet again, nothing wrong with that. Sometimes a rule or two need to be changed. The problem is the government has been diverted, perverted, and converted into a tool for corporate America. In the form of political donations and lobbyists, corporations have slowly rigged the game in their favor by using politicians to introduce laws that will directly benefit them through things like tax subsidies for corporations, executives, regulations, deregulations, arbitration provisions, exclusive protections. Every sector of the economy is guilty. Healthcare, oil, defense, finance, you name it. The deterioration of the principles of our economic system has led to the destruction of pretty much, well, everyone not at the top. Wages have not increased for the majority of Americans since the 1980s, while the amount of wealth concentrated at the top has only grown larger and larger. There is less quality jobs out there, meaning many people are having trouble making ends meet as cost of living, education, and healthcare have all increased. The resentment has been bubbling under the surface for decades, but is slowly starting to burst. There have been signs along the way like the Occupy Wall Street movement and the Tea Party, but it was never clearer than during the 2016 election. The majority of people have been sensing something has been wrong with the system for years. But with the rise of populist candidates like Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, it's evident that people are finally starting to push back. People feel helpless. They feel like they don't have a voice. People want to be heard and they want to feel like they are being represented. Trump and Sanders both fed on the resentment and the anger. Trump obviously has proven to be a disappointment for those who thought things would get better, and it's unlikely Sanders would have fared much better. Look, it's hard not to be resentful and pissed off when you and those in your community are struggling to pay bills and just to survive. And then you turn on the TV and they're talking about the stock market making new highs. The economy's amazing. Jeff Bezos just made $3 billion in a day. And it feels like our country has kicked you in the balls and rubbed your face in a pile of shit. The bottom line is this. This is a societal problem, and it's one that we can fix. For lack of a better analogy, the swamp can be drained, Wall Street can be contained. Government is not bad. Corporations are not bad. And capitalism is not bad. The manipulation of those three things by bad people is the problem. Not to be cliche, but there's really nothing else to do except to change the rules. And the only way to do that is by voting and active demonstration, pressuring politicians into doing something. Money talks and corporations have been doing a lot of talking for decades now, but that does not mean that the others are voiceless. Together, the voices of regular Americans who have been silenced and left with less and less can drown out the voices of corporate America. The passage of power to corporate America was not an overnight thing. It was decades of work. Some moves were boldly brazen, some were silent and concealed. A change to correct this would not be an overnight fix either. It may seem like not the right time, with so many other issues at hand, but I feel solving economic inequality has a way of minimizing some of the other problems. This is not a Democrat versus Republican thing. This is a non-partisan issue. Restore the integrity, competitiveness, and balance within the economy so it can benefit all Americans and not just a few is truly a no-brainer. Capitalism turned our country into an economic superpower. It produced a middle class that was the envy of the world. It's an economic system that was truly made for all. With a few rule changes or restoring a few rules that were changed, it could be that way again. If you want to learn more on this subject, definitely check out the documentary that is now available on Netflix or go on Amazon and buy Robert Reich's book, Saving Capitalism. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Mo Money. You can find new and classic episodes right here on YouTube. For now, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, like me on Facebook, check out the MoMoneyShow.com. Mo Money, signing now.